folks, and welcome back to another episode of Pinal Prep Spotlight, brought to you by 911 Air Repair, your local air conditioning expert specializing in maintenance, repairs, and new installations. We are still in playoff mode, more or less, as we are filming this. Like I mentioned last week, we started off with 11 teams making it into the play-in round. That dwindled down immensely to just 5 making it past that, and then on Saturday we had a couple of first-round playing games, and now we are just left with 2 at this point on Tuesday when we are recording this. David, just what are your thoughts on how everything went in the past week?
Yeah, there were actually a lot of more surprises than I thought there were going to be, both on the winning side and on the losing side. I got to be completely honest. I didn't expect Post and Butte to make it out of the first round. I think that's just an example of seeding can be a little bit deceiving sometimes when it comes down to how certain teams are seeded. Because, Post and Butte looked like the higher seed when they went up against Paradise Honors this last weekend, and they kind of showed why they're much better than what their seeding tells you. Haley Lopez is a fantastic pitcher inside the circle. She gets it done at the plate as well. Kimberly Westover was huge for them in that game, hitting a 2-run homer in the 7th inning to really get some needed insurance runs in that game. So I'm super happy for this team because they are really a really stacked team, both with senior leadership and with younger stars that are contributing as well. So good on them. Hopefully they can continue this run. We'll see what happens. They're going to be in the either the winner's bracket or the loser's bracket after the day that we're recording this. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens there. And then the other surprise on the losing side for me is Santa Cruz. It was kind of a letdown to see them, not even make it to the quarterfinals and not even have a chance to really show what they can do. And especially when a lot of that core, yes, they still have young pieces. They always have young pieces that contribute, but this was kind of like the real senior core that has led this, surge in playoff appearances for the last few years. So it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back after this kind of disappointing loss. So those are kind of the big surprises for me. We still got 2 teams left here, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens and continue to see if there's still going to be more baseball and softball for Pinal on the horizon.
Biggest surprises for me come in the play-in round, and I'm talking baseball here. David was out at this game between Vista Grande and Chaparral. A very close game. Vista Grande had some opportunities to possibly do something. Unfortunately, it all came down to one play, and Vista Grande lost by 1 run. Speaking of heartbreak, Florence, I think Florence baseball takes the cake here. It was kind of a back-and-forth matchup between them, and I want to say it was Payson that they played. And hey, it's bottom of the 7th. They have the bases loaded, and they were unable to get that tying run and possibly the winning run, and that's just a hard way to go down. But positive notes, we kind of talked about them all season long, and that's Apache Junction and just what they've been able to do since moving down to 3A. They were kind of working their way up last year in 4A, but I feel like this move down to 3A has really helped them overall, just as far as competition goes and everything. Like David mentioned, we have 2 teams playing as we are recording. Apache Junction Baseball is one of those teams. Unfortunately, their task going up against Seton Catholic in the first round. They've already played earlier during the regular season. Both of those are losses to them, so I don't see them moving past this. I could be wrong, and hey, by the time this recording comes out, who knows? Overall, David, any thoughts on the season so far? I know we haven't officially wrapped up yet, but what's kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, it's kind of reaching that end point where we thought there were going to be more teams that we were going to be able to see throughout this playoff season, but it really just came down to 2 right now, and we'll kind of have to, again, like you said, wait and see what happens through with these 2 teams. But overall, I feel like it was an interesting year for both baseball and softball. We've seen the same teams still do well, but then when it comes to performing when it matters most, teams just kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. So there's going to be some rebuilding for a lot of teams go out throughout the rest of this offseason, and we'll see what happens next spring.
Rebuilding and a lot of teams just continuing on. CG Union Softball is one of those teams that are just a lot of freshmen. They got a taste of the postseason this time. They made it to the first round in the 5A conference. Unfortunately, outside variables played a factor. Umpires were very, very bad, and that's just putting it mildly. Looking towards the future here, this team is just going to get better as they just garner that maturity and playing experience, and then I feel like once they hit their final season, either juniors or seniors, I feel like they'll be a little more mentally strong and not really let those outside variables affect them. As always, be sure to check out Pinal Central for all of your local sports coverage.